Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode. I'm Brandon,
And I'm Mom.
and this is Tansson TV Plus.
Yes, thank you for joining us again. Brandon, are you ready to talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. again?
Yes, I am, Mom.
That sounds great. It's another Wednesday or Thursday if you're joining us. And so we're happy to have you here. And so we're talking about episode 15 called Yes Men.
Yes, and this episode debuted on March 11th, 2014.
Yep. And I'll just give a little bit of a synopsis. As we have known, Sky was shot and is recovering. And so in this particular episode, Sky is still recovering. She's actually up and alert, and she's able to kind of look things up online and on her computer. But she is not able to kind of roam around freely at this time. So she's in recovery status. But in the meantime, for the story itself, though, we have an outside story that is coming in, and this is something I kind of predicted from last week, and I saw that it did come. It did happen. I mentioned that Sky would just be getting better, and I also mentioned there'd be an outside story. And the outside story involves a character named Lorelai, and Lorelai is someone who's able to control men just by her mind, by looking at them, and so she gets some sort of mind control over men, and they kind of follow her around, and they're willing to protect her and things like that. And so that is kind of how the storyline begins. As she meets a couple men, and she kind of puts them under their spell. In the meantime, in Shield World, they know that there is a power that's going on, and then they are introduced to a lady named Lady Sis. And Lady Sis is actually someone who's been hunting down Lorelai. Both are Asgardians. Is that correct, Brandon?
Yes, Lorelai and Lady sit for both as guardians.
All right. And so they're both Asgardians. And so Lady Sis is trying to find her to speak, to kind of put her back in, per se, jail, is the lack of better way of saying it. But as I mentioned, she is able to put people into trances or to follow her. And in the midst of trying to fight her, she does put Grant, and she also puts Fritz in some sort of a trance. And so they have to break free of her. And that basically is the episode in general of itself. I'll let you watch the true episode for details.
Well, Mom, thank you so much for that.
You're welcome, Brandon.
And overall, what were your thoughts about this episode, Yes Men?
Well, I mean, for it was one of the cutesy episodes. I'll put it that way. I know there was some depth with the episode, but I mean, in terms of the serious episodes they've had, this was one of the lighter-hearted episodes.
Would you say it was a good change of pace to go from? Cause we've had a lot of series episodes back to back lately.
Yeah, actually, it was a nice change of pace. It really was.
And overall, what were your thoughts about Lorelai? Did they match up with what you may have thought last week? If you had any thoughts or last episode?
Actually, it did follow through as I kind of thought it would. The only thing I was not expecting was Lady Sis. I just wasn't expecting that type of character, and she did play in the Thor movies, but I was not expecting that type of character to kind of pop up. I thought it would be Shield against Lorelai, and they kind of figure out how to kind of overcome her. When in essence, the Shield group did actually fall under her trance, meaning the two men did. Coulson did not. I'm not sure if she even went after Coulson, but Coulson was not under her trance.
Should Coulson be offended?
Maybe Coulson should, but Coulson had other things on his mind.
Well, Coulson did knock out Fitz, though.
Yeah, he did knock out Fitz. I mean, someone had to be there to help, to kind of try to help Fitz there.
Yeah, but you were mentioning earlier that he has his own problems. So, Mom, are you able to let us know, like, what was he doing in this episode?
Well, Coulson's still thinking about Sky and the drug that they infected within her. Apparently, what I missed last week was that the fact that the bodies that he found were aliens, or at least one of them was, or at least he believes is an alien, and that is the drug that is injected in him, and is injected in Sky also as some sort of alien blood, I guess, or some sort of fluid from an alien anyway. And so that's kind of, and that has been placed in both of their blood in order to keep them alive. Coulson is very disturbed by this. Once he told Sky seemed to be okay. She just knew that she was alive, and she was okay with knowing that this was in her system. However, Coulson has told her that he believes that they need to figure out more about this drug that's in them, and so he wants to keep that between them as they go exploring.
Yeah, and that the rules no longer apply.
Yep, the rules do not apply at this time.
But Simmons is quite curious in researching this Coulson with it or not.
Yeah, Simmons is really curious, and she kind of stands up to Coulson as she indicates that she needs to find this out for S.H.I.E.L.D. itself. But Coulson kind of tells her no. He said that at this time that she needs to not analyze this any further.
Yeah, like, is there anything that you learned from anyone within this episode?
Well, I don't know if I want to talk about the end per se, but yes, you do learn at the very end one of the people who is actually, I don't want to say working against Coulson, but someone who has kind of been telling on Coulson. Let's put it that way, and um, and so we do find out who at least one of these people are at the very end.
Okay, yeah. And so, were you expecting that at all?
No, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I have some ideas of who I think the clairvoyant person is, um, but I was not necessarily expecting the phone call that occurred at the end.
Yeah, it definitely, I think, changes some things in terms of, yeah, this episode and how we look at it heading into next episode. So, do you have any more thoughts for this episode?
For this episode, no. I mean, when it came down to it, and not really telling anything, a secret or anything like that, Lorelai is captured by Lady Sis, and she eventually leaves, I guess, or wherever she goes, and so Lady Sis does take her back to wherever she needs to go. Um, and so that in itself did not surprise me. And so I think it more so at this point in time, just trying to watch what the others are doing and to kind of see how that all comes blends together. Oh, and one of the things that kind of happened was since Grant was under the under the trance of Lorelei, he and May actually fought each other because they fought each other because he was under this trance. However, I believe they made the comment of saying that the people will not do more than what their conscious or something would let them do, and so with the fight between them went a little further than May thought it would. Did I say that
Yeah,
correctly, Brandon?
yeah, even to the point where I could be wrong because it was very quick, but it looked like Ward was going to shoot her.
Yeah, it did. It did. And he once he got out of the trance, he apologized and said he was back, and he did drop the gun, but also the gun, I think it had run out of bullets if I remember correctly.
I think so.
Yeah, so we're not quite sure what would have happened.
Yeah, that's definitely, I mean, interesting to think about, and yeah, and I mean, just I guess overall seeing where we are within the series. I mean, are you enjoying the well, I guess both of the series and the characters? Are there any, like, who would you say are like your favorite go to characters now?
Oh, I like Sky. I think I've always liked Sky. And so she's one of my favorite characters for females. I do like Simmons. She has kind of grown, I say grown on me because, like I said, when we first started watching it, Fitz and Simmons kind of blended together as one. And now they have two completely different characters. And so I do like that. As for the guys, I've always been a Coulson fan, so I would say Coulson's probably my favorite for the guys. Grant being number two.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely good to know. What about Agent May?
Agent May, I've always been a little suspicious of her. I don't know why, but I've just always been a little suspicious of her.
Okay, that makes sense. Would you say that you've grown or decreased in your suspicion at all?
It's increasing now. I'll say that it's increasing.
Yeah. Well, definitely good to know. And so the next, like I said, this episode was March 11th. The next episode, they took yet another break, and so we're all the way back at April 1st now.
Oh wow, wow. Well, we look forward to watching it.
Yes, and so that episode is titled End of the Beginning.
Yeah. All right. So I know that we'll be watching that either later today or tomorrow. So we'll see what happens.
Well, do you have any predictions before we get into that one?
I think this is going to be more core centered, meaning that it's going to be about the core group itself, and any holes or anything like that that goes on within the group. So I think that's what they're going to concentrate on. This is my prediction is that this next episode will be about them, and then the next that episode 17 I think is going to bring back more of the outside. By outside I mean the those like Peterson and the others that are kind of involved. I think they're gonna bring them in. But that's me predicting, and so I've been wrong before, so we'll see what happens. And just to let everyone know, episode 14 that we talked about previously, a mission that Peterson was there. I did reflect later, and he was not in episode 14. So for those of you who are writing below, I am aware that he was not in episode 14. So sorry about that. There was a little gap between us watching and taping.
Well, no worries. I was a little, what's that, confusing this episode at the beginning because they did actually mention him, and as if their interactions were recent. But I think that was a few episodes ago.
Yeah, it was. It was. All right. So we'd love to hear the comments of you guys. Let us know what you think of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know I'm behind, but if anyone else is behind watching, let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. Please do. No spoilers.
All righty. All right, everybody, have a great day.
We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.